Hello. So welcome to Day in the Life.
That's my boy, bro. That's my boy, bro.
It's like a behind the scenes of my YouTube. Wait, let me just check your hair. Okay, you ready? 3 more sausages. Okay, great. Thank you so much, guys. Alex, funny. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
I've had a pretty productive day. The last thing I was doing at work was basically some admin tasks. It's not been a super creative day, and that's kind of what I want to achieve with these vlogs. That and what I mean by what I want to achieve with these vlogs is that creative work isn't necessarily all about being creative. I think the idea that people have of creatives always creating something, always getting those creative juices flowing is actually quite detrimental to creatives, and I've said creative quite a few times, but alas, the point being that if you are solely a creative, you're not necessarily going to be doing creative work every day. The harsh reality of it is that sometimes there will be administration involved, and for the last hour of my day I was planning onboarding meetings with colleagues. The reason being was because I'm relatively new to this consultancy project that I'm working on, and in order for me to fit into the team nicely and collaborate with as many people as possible on the workforce, I think it is essential to have a good working rhythm with people and understand exactly what they do and what their area of expertise is. So that's basically what I was doing for the past hour. I also followed up on some feedback for a latest video draft that I've done. And the reason why I followed up on that was basically because I'd like to get this project boxed off. It's been about 2 weeks in the running now. And if anyone's aware what sprints are, it's where you work for 2 weeks solely on one project. And that's almost exclusively what I've been working on. The reason for that is because I used to work at an agency. So I'm not saying all agencies are the same, but a creative agency, particularly one that has very tight deadlines, will generally speaking work in sprints where the project manager, art director, content creator, whoever's involved in the project well, I'll focus solely on that project to see it through to completion, to ensure the project's done within that time frame. So I've pretty much done that 2-week period now with this particular video in question, and due to NDAs I'm not allowed to show the video, but what I can explain is that it's got to the point now where we are on the final home stretch, just taking the last little bits of feedback. And in my book that I'm reading at the moment, it basically is teaching me how to communicate better with different stakeholders in the project to make sure that I'm basically a good addition to the team. So anyway, now it is my free time. The time is currently 7 p.m. I have a tattoo scheduled with one of my friends. So I'm going to go to her house now and get the tattoo. It's just a short one that I'm probably going to get here on my arm because as you can see on this arm, I haven't really got too many tattoos going on in comparison to this arm, which is, I'd like to say nearing completion, but realistically there's probably loads more to do. And I kind of have been holding back on these vlogs a little bit because I wanted to find interesting things, not to essentially say that my life is interesting, but to not just show you the monotony of daily tasks. Next week I do have something very cool planned. I'm going to the Netherlands for 3 days for a photo shoot. Super excited to show you that. Super excited to show you, especially the behind the scenes of a video shoot, how I like to direct, how I like to kind of lighten the mood of a shoot, because I do feel sometimes, especially when you're shooting for 8 hours video, it can be quite difficult to keep morale positive. So I'm going to show you little tips and tricks that I've learned from other YouTubers as well. But yeah, I really want to show with these vlogs a kind of like behind the scenes of my life. And I think the reason I want to do that is because for the longest time I've been talking about why certain content creators get depressed and certain content creators don't get depressed. And the reason being is that I've always been, especially over the past year, I've been making a lot of content that has been trying to break into the algorithm, realizing that that's not really the part of myself I want to show on YouTube. I want to show my true self. And the only way I can do that is by giving you a real insight to my life. Now, there obviously will be parts of this video series that I do kind of keep on the down low. My partner has very kindly asked me to not feature her on the videos, which I totally understand. It's not for everyone, you know, not everyone wants to be on YouTube parading themselves all over the internet, so I have to respect her decisions in that manner. I will, however, be showing some behind the scenes and maybe get her a little bit more acquainted with the whole video side of things, and she is also very kindly helping me shoot some of the behind the scenes of the life, if you will. And I suppose, yeah, that's the direction I'm going in, and let's just see what happens. It's basically just for me to have another creative outlet of my life and to kind of teach people the realities of working in the creative industry. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed thus far, and I hope the vibe is cool and calm like I wanted it to be. I would recommend watching this of an evening when you're just starting to like slow down a little bit. I don't want these vlogs to be stressful, high energy and like fast flashing images. Sure, I can do that, but it's not really in line with the type of content I want to be creating going forward. So with all that said, the next scene you will be seeing me getting the tattoo, and yeah, then we will revisit the talking head part later. Thank you so much for watching so far, and see you very soon.
Top tip. I've completely forgot to mention this, and I just realised whilst putting on my hoodie. If you haven't ever got a tattoo before and you're planning on getting one, please follow these very, very small but important tips. If you're going to your first tattoo session, please eat before, okay? The worst thing you can do is go and have a tattoo on an empty stomach. It's going to be sending your blood sugar all over the place. Your adrenaline's going to be going crazy. It's not going to be a good time for anyone involved, and you'll probably end up tapping out and just not enjoying it, you know? Please take some sugar with you. I like to just take little sweets. I have a sweet tooth anyway, so it's not a problem for me. Again, this is going to like regulate your blood sugar. Sometimes an energy drink really works well because it's that huge caffeine boost straight away, so that could be a good option. And lastly, and most importantly, please do not drink before getting a tattoo. If you are going to see a professional tattoo artist, they will ask you anyway if you have had any alcohol. The reason because of this, I don't know the exact science, I could be wrong, and this could be a wife's tale, but I believe it has something to do with the blood getting infected. So just don't do it anyway. It's also illegal to get a tattoo whilst drunk because you're obviously making a pretty big decision there because it's going to be on your body forever. And with that said,
Hi, I'm Leon. We're now filming an hyperscanning setup together with the application specialist and Rachel and Kritika.
That's very true.
excellent.
And I actually wanted to check with Leon there.
Look at that, a man at work. Men at work, London. In my experience, everything is salvageable. And Leon's